Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra from Crafty and welcome to another video. Now friends, you might not believe this. If you have been watching my last few videos, you know that I'm in some weird crochet funk where I'm not feeling in the mood to make amigurumi. But friends, this entire video is just going to be about amigurumi projects that I've worked on in the last week. Now, before we get to the amigurumi, I wanted to share with you something about my kids, my children. So I've got an 18-year-old son, I've got a 13-year-old daughter, and as with most parents, like whenever I get the opportunity to brag about my kids, I will do so. Now you may have noticed, and I know some of you have picked it up, I know Chantal over in Canada, she has picked up that I've got a new like intro drawing and an outro drawing. So a drawing in the beginning of my video and a drawing right at the end of my video. That has been sort of new, like I brought it in this year. I've had my previous one that Jessica drew for me 3 years probably ago, that I've been using at the start of all my videos, and I sort of begged my children to make me a new beginning and ending page for my videos. So they did, and I really enjoy, you know, getting my kids involved in some of my videos. So either through helping me with the edits, my son have helped me with edits before, he has helped me with one of my most successful short videos here on YouTube. I will pop a little clip in. It is this one where I made the Mariah Elizabeth character, but Jaden, he did the card trick. So that's not me in the video doing the very fancy shuffling and the card trick. This was Jaden. So my kids often help me out. Now, what was funny about the two drawings that's now part of my videos, the one that Jessica drew, and this is why you've got to love daughters, because they will always see you in the most perfect light. So Jessica has this beautiful, very, you know, a more realistic type of drawing of me sitting in my chair. I mean, it looks exactly like what I look like in real life. It's like my spitting image. It could have been a photo that was taken of me. So this is what Jessica drew. I look, you know, I look young, I look fresh, I look, you know, extremely happy with crocheting. And this is the one that Jessica drew, and I will pop a photo up on the screen of Jessica's drawing for my channel, which greatly contrasts to the drawing that Jaden, my 18-year-old, made, which is at the front of my video. So for both of them, I had sort of the same brief. I said, please make a drawing that features me in it. So how you see me in my crocheting, and add some of those plushies that I'm, you know, used to making or that I love making, and something about crafty after on it. So Jessica did this beautiful realistic drawing. Jaden did this one that I will pop on the screen now, of this short grey old lady screaming at I don't know what, probably screaming in frustration, as I probably do with my children. You know how us moms are, you know, you talk and talk, and at one stage the only thing that helps is screaming. So this is how my son sees me, this very short little old lady wearing glasses, where my daughter sees me as this young lovely lady crocheting. But while I'm talking about my son, he also has a YouTube channel here on YouTube. Well, he's got a YouTube channel called Blurred Motion Studios. Both my kids are extremely talented when it comes to drawing. Jaden does a lot of animation, and not animation where a computer system creates the movement. He does old school 2D animation where he draws each frame himself. So where you see movement in a specific video, you know, the characters talking or moving about or something happening, that movement is drawn frame by frame, as they did way back in the day before computers took over most of the animation process. So Jaden, he makes these amazing stories with these characters that he created himself. Absolutely fantastic. He brought out another video yesterday that I already shared on my YouTube channel as a post, but please go and have a look. I'm just, when you are so impressed with your kids and you're like, how the heck do I have children that's this talented? So that is just my bit of a spiel in the beginning, bragging about my kids, as most of us parents do. All right, friends, that's it. Now let's get back to the crocheting part. So this week it was still a fairly relaxing week of crochet. Now the first thing I wanted to show you, and I showed you like a little flashes of it in previous videos, I bought this crochet kit from Flying Tiger, which is like a cheap shop. I don't know, I shouldn't call it cheap. It's like this, it's like a Dollar Tree or a Five Below or something like that, like a fairly affordable type of shop with all sorts of nonsense in it. Anyway, I love that shop, and I picked up this crochet kit, and I had this grand idea of doing like a vlog style filming as I go. I did actually do some clips, and then the project just fell apart completely. It didn't. What I ended up making was not this dog. The pattern was, it wasn't terribly written all the way, but there were times that I was so confused I didn't know what the pattern was saying. It was definitely lost in translation. I don't know from which language it originated. I was confused for the majority of this project. Now I should say I actually technically only did the head according to the pattern. Once I started the little feet, you do these, like you do 4 little feet, and then you connect it to the body, and I did the first foot, and I couldn't understand what they were saying. They had 4 different directions for row number 8. None of them worked out. So I first thought maybe, row 8, you finish each leg in a different way, at a different place, but it didn't specify which leg you were using. The stitch counts didn't end up. And by that time, I have had it. Like, after struggling with the head of this dog, when I struggled with the first foot, I'm like, I'm done. The only thing that I actually enjoyed from this entire project, and maybe I will put a little clip in to show you, but now I must just find it. Part of what you got, so you got a lot of acrylic yarns, you got a yarn needle or embroidery needle, which I actually really love. It's one of the best needles I've ever worked with. I actually now use it permanently, so that was fairly good. The yarn was not bad, just a standard Bob standard DK weight acrylic. The stuffing wasn't bad, it was more than enough. But you got one of those metal hooks, the cheap, thin, non-ergonomic metal hooks that you often get in these kits. And the only thing that I enjoyed really fully is putting an ergonomic handle on this hook. And let me show you. This is what I made. So there you go. It's like this. This was the metal hook. Just a blue 2.5 millimeter, which happened to be, that was something I was really glad about, because 2.5 millimeter is my favorite size of hook, but I couldn't work with that metal one. So I got some of my polymer clay. It was sort of just before Valentine's Day, and I made this little hook. So I think maybe I will use some of the video I took when I made this handle, and I will pop it in here, and then once that little clip is done, I will show you the puppy that I made. So let's go. I'll show you what and how I did this adorable hook. All right, you guys, I think I am calling it here. I know my little bear looks very, very dodgy, but I'm telling you, this is difficult. So people making polymer clay hooks, whatever you charge for it, if you sell it on Etsy, you are not charging enough because it is incredibly difficult to make a polymer clay hook. Anyway, this guy is going into the oven so that I can finally start on my crochet project. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I really love working with polymer clay, and I think, you know, I love buying crochet kits, even though they are awful most of the time. I still enjoy buying crochet kits, and I think if I'm going to do this with all of my thin metal hooks that I've got in previous kits. I'm just going to put handles on all of them. But let me show you what I ended up making. So like I said, I made the entire head of the puppy. Then I was done. And I used my Swim Time Sammy Bear, the bottom part of him, to complete this little, this little dachshund, little sausage dog. So it was just I hated making this head. Here's the rest of him. So this is now a standing dog with a bare bottom half, the bottom half of a bear pattern, I should say. And I did put, this was actually according to the pattern, the tail. So I did do the tail as it recommended in the pattern. I still did. So as you can see, this little dog is wearing a purple sweater. So I did use the yarn, but I made that little vest, that free little vest pattern that I've got on my blog. So here it is, obviously just terribly out of proportion because the head is really too big for this body, but I could not be bothered anymore. I was done with this dog. I was done with this pattern booklet. But I think all in all, so I did try to use all of the yarn that they gave. In the pattern, you did start the little feet with this lighter brown. So I tried to sort of keep the flavor of the dog. But there we go. So this is what I ended up with instead of this. And this would have been cute. And I'm very sorry it didn't work out. But honestly, life is too short to be permanently on some other struggle bus. All right, next thing I want to show you, and it comes from the Whimsical Stitches book. Now, as you guys would have seen on my community post, miracles happened, and our book that has been stuck in Canada due to the postal strike for 3 months finally got sent off to the next recipient, the next person on the list, which was Crystal. We still have about 4 people in Canada that is going to receive the book, but at least we know that it's, once you post it, it actually moves now pretty quickly, as in how it was before the postal strike. So I was so excited when the book got sent off, and my friend Crystal over at Sofa Spud Stitches, she let me know that she received the book and she chose the succulent planter. Now, I have been putting off making this succulent planter for months. My friend Kathleen, who was a recipient of the US book, she made this succulent planter last year sometime in August, I think. So since last year August, I have been putting off making the succulent planter. I wonder if I've marked it in the book. So it's in the front somewhere. This one. Here it is. So this was the project that Crystal chose. And what was funny, Crystal wrote to me and she said, you know, I had a look at the journal and I noticed that you hadn't made the planter yet. So I was thinking of making the planter and then we can make it together. So, well, if someone tells me that, you know, gently nudging me to make it, how can I say no? So Crystal made the planter. She did send me a photo and I will pop it on my community post, and it'll be in the journal as well this week. But finally, after months, I did finish the succulent planter. And honestly, I don't know why it took me this many months to make, because it's not a very time-consuming project. I think the longest thing was these little string of pearl thingies. I struggled with the instruction for the bobble, but once I got it, it actually also goes pretty quickly. I still have to sew on or glue. You'll see my little lace bit here. It's just kept in place by a pin. I've got to either glue or stitch it. I haven't decided yet. But in the end, I did enjoy making this one. And now I've only got the daisy left to do. So the book is going to the next person in Canada. I'm not exactly sure. I think it might be Diana. I can't exactly remember who's getting it, but I think the book is being sent this week, as well as our US book that is being sent this coming week to the very last person on the list. So I'm super excited that things are sort of moving along again in the amigurumi world too, especially our international book, which was stuck. As I said, it was stuck for 3 months due to the postal strike, but now we are on the move again, and I'm super excited. So if you want to make any of the projects, because all of the projects between the two books have now been selected, so you are welcome. If you want to join in, be a part of our Hello From pages in the journal. Of course, I will link the journal in my description box down below. If you want to join in, if you want to make a photo from the Whimsical or project from the Whimsical Stitches book, please email me your photo and I will include it in our World Tour journal. All right, the last amigurumi. Now I have been I follow a lot of people on Instagram and on YouTube that are crocheters, and I saw on my friend Marsha from Mimi Makes Keepsakes. I was seeing some of her posts, her recent posts on Instagram. She takes the most beautiful, beautiful photos of her projects, and she made this little bunny from the oak and marlow pattern. I don't know what it is called, what the pattern is called. I will link it down below. I'll pop a photo on the screen of this little bunny, because when I saw it, even though you guys know I hate working with chenille yarns, I wanted to do this bunny. Yeah, this is what happens. I get sort of influenced by seeing the beautiful projects that everyone else makes. I desperately want to make them, and then things go slightly pear-shaped at times. I bought the pattern, so that was on Friday. Today's Sunday, I don't even know what it is. Where are we now? The 16th of February. Today's Sunday, the 16th of February, so on Friday. I bought the pattern. Saturday, I started it out and I made 2 legs, which were not too bad. I thought they were going to be worse. They actually worked out fairly quickly. I didn't struggle too much with them, even though there are 6 single crochets in a tube. But things went horribly wrong when I got to connecting the top. So this is what the tops now look like. Because you crochet them flat together, it's sort of a ragdoll style. So the legs can, you can make the legs to sit nicely. Your amigurumi sits nicely, these little dangly legs. And I made a mistake somehow and it looked awful, and I thought I will just gently pull back my stitches, and this is what happened. My yarn broke, and I was like, that's it, I'm done. I'm not going to try and make these legs again. I'm not going to attach any more yarn. I packed up the chenilles, put it back into the cupboard. I thought, I want my cottons that I can pull and tug and be sort of rough with if I want to, and they will just not break on me all the time. So I got out my my Rainbow Cotton 86, which is the yarn love of my life. It is a sport weight yarn weight to yarn. I buy it from Hobby. I use the Friends Cotton 86 and the Rainbow Cotton 86. Love that cotton. Use a 2.5mm hook, and I thought I'm going to make that bunny with a mint and a grey, just as I'd envisaged, can't even say the word properly, just as I sort of saw it in my mind. I'm going to make it with cotton, and this is what I did. So I made this bunny, sort of free-handed it to look like what I had thought my chenille bunny was going to look like. Loved how this bunny turned out. Absolutely loved it. It's been snowing in Copenhagen the last 2 days, so I took a beautiful photo outside on our little deck, just outside our sort of side door of our apartment, where this little bunny, like its feet were like sunken into the snow. I'll pop a photo up on the screen, but it's also on the thumbnail of this video. But I just loved making this bunny, and I thought, even though I do like the size, she is a little small. I actually had a bigger bunny in my head, so I thought this is going to be the start of a pattern that I want to develop and write up. But I'm going to have to do a few more versions of it to get exactly what I want. So this was a very, very good start. Loved how this bunny turned out. It was a quick project. I didn't have to, at this point, I didn't write anything down. I was just watching YouTube. I was just making this bunny, you know, not having to worry about a pattern, just doing whatever I felt like. And then I thought, okay, for the second version, I wanted to make the bunny a little bigger, use some different colors, wanted to see where this pattern could develop to, but it was definitely going to remain a winter pattern. So I'm not going to do anything spring or summer. I wanted to be either still now winter or end of year winter, sort of when we get into the festive season winter colors. But my second bunny I love just as much, slightly bigger. And I made the ears going down because I thought it would be quite funny to put a cat ear beanie onto this bunny. So I used sort of green and red. I thought maybe I can make almost a Christmas version. And I know, you guys, I know it's too early for Christmas projects, but hey ho, in this house we love Christmas and it's never too early for Christmas projects. So I thought, this is cute, but I'm not liking the colors. I'm thinking I might do another version. I love the look. I like the little overalls. I like the scarf. I like the ears going down. I like the beanie. But I think I want to do it more in autumn colors. Maybe have the bunny hold a little pumpkin or something. So I will see what my third version will look like. But I really, really enjoyed making these two. So still, I'm not really in the mood for making any specific pattern. I don't want to read off a pattern, but I'm very, very happy to just sit and design something for the future. All right, you guys, that is it. My week of amigurumi. I hope you enjoyed seeing my projects. Let me know what you guys are working on. I know quite a few of us are in this beginning of year funk. You know, we're not in the mood for amigurumi. We're not in the mood for, I don't know what, anything. No, we're not in the mood for, we're in the mood for sitting and watching TV and, I don't know, eating Pringles out of the tube. Maybe that's just me. But it is what it is. It is this time of the year. We will get through it. All right, friends, that's it for this week. I've enjoyed chatting to you. As always, I cannot wait until I post the video to start reading your comments. Thank you for being a lovely community. You're always uplifting. You're always positive. You always have great ideas. And I love hanging out with you all. All right, friends, that's it. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend. I hope you're ready for the week ahead. And as always, until I see you in the next video, stay safe and stay crafty.